Good morning, everyone. This is Tony with SC Creative Farmer. Blessed, very blessed with a very beautiful morning. Yesterday was in the mid-20s. Today wasn't quite as cold. I'm not exactly sure. I never even looked, but I could just tell by looking outside it wasn't nearly as cold as yesterday. It's in the 30s, but it wasn't too bad. Anyway, I thought I'd come out here, maybe walk around, try to see if I might find a shed or two. It's about that time of year. So far, no luck, but even as cool as it is, I've got this coat on and I've warmed up right nicely walking around. Anyway, thought I would share a little story. I've actually got two stories, but I think I'm gonna break it up. It involved the same people, but it was like two totally different subjects. So, hey bud, what you doing? Anyway, well, let me back up even farther. Maybe a year ago, I'm not sure. It's been a good number of months ago. I had a family pull up here to my house and was asking about buying some chickens. And I told them, I said, no, sir. I said, I'm not interested in selling any of my chickens. And once they heard no, boy, they all just, him and his wife. And actually his son piped in, and I'm going to say his son was maybe 12, but every one of them just relentless over and over. For every no, I probably got 10. Please, 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 sir, please sell us a chicken. Please sell me one chicken. And then when I finally broke down and said, all right, I'll sell you one. Please, sir, please, two. I really need 2 chickens. And then 2 turned into 3. 3 turned into 4. And, I drew a line and I said, look, no more. I said, I need these. And she wound up offering me $25 a bird for every chicken I had. No roosters, just the chickens. But I told her, I said, no, ma'am, I am not. I've already gotten established. My chickens were laying eggs, and I didn't want to have to go all the way back through the hatchery ordeal with raising those little chicks and waiting 6 months, So, which I don't have a problem doing that, but in the meantime, I do now have chickens that lay eggs. So that's not like starting all the way over from scratch. Well, so I did sell her some chickens, but I did not give her what she wanted. But I could not believe how persistent they were. I can't remember exactly the time frame of this. It could have been 30 minutes, but it was just bombarded. Please, please, sir, please sell us a chicken. Please sell us, please, please. So, anyway, fast forward to a few days ago. I'm out here doing some work in the yard on my tractor, actually, and car pulls up, and I go over there to him, and he winds up telling me that as they rode down the highway, he saw my chickens, and he wanted to know, do I sell any? And I told him no. I said, no, sir, I provide eggs for people. And I said, my chickens are not laying nearly as many eggs right now as, they were back in the summertime. And I said, so I'm really struggling, to get eggs for people. So that's when it started. I see a guy with a 4-wheeler riding up the road over here. But anyway, just like the previous couple, please, please, sir, please sell us one chicken. And immediately it kind of tickled me, to be honest, like, am I going to have to go through this again? But anyway, the guy, and when I told him no, then his wife, which was sitting in the back seat, and they had a daughter, she was like, please, please, sir, sell us one chicken for our daughter. Our daughter wants a chicken, please, please. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I can't. I mean, I need my chickens. And we went on and on about that. I had drawn a line in the sand. I was like, no, I'm not selling a chicken. But again, they were very persistent. Now, I'll throw this in there. I was actually on the phone with a friend of mine when they pulled up. And I had told him the previous story from before. But you know, until you experience it, it's hard to imagine how persistent these people are. But when they pulled up, I just told him, I said, I had my phone in my hand, I was talking to him on speaker, and I said, hey, hang on a minute. I said, this guy probably is looking for directions. So I had my phone in my hand, so he gets to hear this entire conversation. So finally I break down and I go back to go get a couple of chickens, and I was talking to my friend, and he was like, wow, like really, wow, these people are so persistent. I'm like, I know, right? They just will not take a no for an answer. They don't get rude or pushy. It's just like begging. Oh, please, please, sir, please, for my daughter, for my daughter. So anyway, I told him, I said, yeah, I will, I'll sell you a couple chickens for your daughter. Now, their daughter was sitting in the back seat beside the mom. She never said a word. And I don't know, I'm going to guess, let's say 5 years old. I'm not sure. I mean, she can talk, she can convey a message. She wasn't a baby, but she never showed no emotion over the chickens, never got excited, never, you know how a kid is when you're like, all right, we're going to get you a puppy, and their eyes just light up like, a puppy. No, she never showed nothing. Well, I asked them, I said, do y'all have a box? Because they're in a nice car, a really nice car. And so I'm like, well, do y'all have a box or something to put the chicken in? And the guy's like, oh, yeah, we got a box. So he pops the trunk, and his wife gets out. She comes around, and it looks like they're on vacation. There's suitcases, there's blankets folded up, there's bags with some clothes in it. And I'll say this, later on he did tell me they were on vacation from Miami, Florida. Again, that kind of raised a question like, who buys a chicken that far from home to tote around in their car? Well, anyway, she didn't have a box. She had a Publix grocery store bag, one of the cloth bags, but it wasn't a big bag, and there was actually clothes in it. And she took these clothes out and handed me the bag, and I didn't say anything, but I was looking at this bag, and I'm like, I don't think this thing will hold 2 chickens. Well, it wouldn't. When I put one chicken down in the bag, the other chicken, there was no room around it. They could not sit side by side. It would have been stacked one on top of the other. So I put one chicken in the bag, and I toted the other chicken over to their car. And she did something, I guess, interesting. And it's the exact same thing the previous woman did. She took her 2 chickens. The previous woman took, I think I sold her 4 chickens. But every chicken, they held them up by their hind legs, or by their legs. And they took their hand and pulled their feathers down like against the grain. And they were looking at the skin. And she made a comment saying something about looking for spots. I have no idea. When she asked me, I told her, I said, look, I love my birds. I feed them twice a day. I keep them fresh water. But I don't strip search them every day. I mean, I have no idea if one of them has a sore or whatever. Maybe I should, I don't know, but I don't. So I don't know really what she was looking for, but she really thoroughly looked that bird over, or both of them. And the previous woman did the same thing with all of them. But you know, that little girl never showed any interest in the chicken. When I brought them up there, her eyes never lit up. She never, you know, got on her knees in the seat like looking at the chicken, nothing. She sat right there in the back seat like a very well-behaved kid. It wasn't, you know, her mom and daddy wasn't having to keep saying, sit down, I done told you to sit down, I done told you to be quiet. She sat there just almost like a statue. The only time I heard that little girl speak or show anything, any attention, was when my dog Ace walked over there. And then she got up on her knees and was sticking her hand out the window doing this, like, puppy, come here, puppy, puppy. But she didn't do that about the chickens. So my question is, what was they gonna do with those chickens? Anyway, the chicken thing's got me puzzled. I just curious why people would drive from Miami, Florida up to South Carolina, see some chickens and decide, hey, I want them chickens. And then when I did give them to her, she just put them in the floorboard in the back of the car. I hope they wasn't having to drive all the way back to Miami, Florida with them birds. So I don't know what they're doing. Reselling them, eating them, cutting the heads off, drinking the blood. I don't know, but I'm just curious if anybody knows, if they could just let me know. I mean, what is the deal? But anyway, I got another story, the same people. And just to, I guess, shorten this video and not draw it out and make it a 30-minute thing. The same people tried something else. And I have another story that I'll post right after this one. But so I thought I'd break it up, part 1 and part 2. But anyway, guys, hope y'all have a blessed day. I'm going to get up, continue walking, looking for some sheds, and I'll get down here a little ways and I'll stop and tell you the second story.